And some of the sites that you might not have any power available. It might be a long time, and those would not be good candidates. But I think if you control the land, you control the site, and you have that power available, that's big. I would say also too, don't be scared off if a site can't do several hundred megawatts of power. I think a lot of people think right now, well, if you can't do 500 megawatts or a gigawatt, I shouldn't chase this market. If you have a site in a Dallas or a Chicago or a Phoenix or Northern Virginia, Atlanta, whatever the major and even secondary markets are, and you can do 24 to 48 megawatts, there's a whole enterprise market right now. Deals between 500 kW, 2 megawatts, 4 megawatts that in some ways have been forgotten about because everybody's chasing these large campus deals. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the facts. That's just what's happening in the market today. So one is just, the power side of things. And the second thing I would say is if you are your expansion capability on a site. So we've actually seen a couple of industrial developers have basically like an industrial shell already up. And because they have because they have land next to that, and they also have a path to power, you've got the opportunity to probably do more than, just one building or something like that. So that's a big part of it too, is there additional land to grow in the future?
Yeah. And each of those are going to have, like you said, the current size plus expansion size and rights and opportunities. There's like layers to this whole thing.
That's right.
And again, they all have different weights and, at the end of the day, come up with like a real feasibility for the site.
And actually, so that's typically like either obviously just land that you can develop on, or industrial land has some of the characteristics that a data center site would need. So that greater setbacks, there's a security piece to data centers that you have to have, and so the industrial sites just typically have more land that you can create that type of environment on than maybe some more congested areas. So anyway, the power availability, got to have it, but that's part of it. And don't be scared off if it's a smaller amount of power. Number two, I would say, I think we've kind of forgotten about it because, people say, oh, it's table stakes, but proximity to connectivity is important. So, one of the questions, if you have these sites, like, how do I figure out where fiber is? Like, what fiber is out there? And am I in an area that has a dense population? So this is maybe a bit self-serving, but one of our, I'd say cousin companies, so Data Center Hawk, but we work with a group. There's a group in our portfolio called Fiber Locator, and that's a great way to understand. You look at a site, you can see the fiber providers all around that site, who's there, who isn't there, and that's a great way to very quickly understand. So if you have 100 properties, you got to run through some sort of framework to understand connectivity, and you almost need to rank each one. That's a great way to do it.